find the rectangular coordinates of each point. So here goes a point here, 4 comma 3/2, 3 pi over 2. And this is just really my r and my theta. So essentially all I'm going to do here is just plug it in the formulas, and I'm just going to use these two formulas here. So the first step, I'm just going to plug everything in. So here they are. So from here we can just plug in the values that each of the trig values equal. So this is really 4 times, and the cosine of 3 pi halves is going to be 0. So this actually equals 0. And the y here is going to be 4 times -1 for the sine of 3 pi halves. And this is going to be -4. Now if we think about this, the idea of graphing it, both ways we can kind of confirm why it is what it is. So if I think of the ordered pair would actually be 0, -4. And if I graph that, I would go 0 in the x, which is here, and then down 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there would be our point right here. So now if I was thinking about the original says, hey, I start from and I'll go a different color here, I'm going to go with the red. Start with the polar axis, which is here, and then go around to 3 pi halves, which takes me down to here. And then in that direction, it says I go 4. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. And it ends up in the exact same place. So essentially, keep in mind what we're doing here. We're just converting from polar to rectangular, but the point is always going to stay in the same place. The only thing that changes is the way I graph it, not the actual graph itself. So let's try one more. So here's another one, -2, 2 pi thirds. So essentially what we're going to do is just the exact same thing. All I'm going to do is plug in. Now remember, this is just r, and this is just theta here. So my -2 is my r, and my 2 pi thirds is my theta. So essentially that's all I'm going to do here again. So we end up with these two. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find out what the cosine of 2 pi thirds is. Now if we just draw our unit circle idea here, we realize 2 pi thirds is going to be over here. That's our angle, 2 pi thirds. And then this angle in here is going to be a pi thirds, which makes this side a square root of 3. This side's going to be a 2, and this side's going to be a 1. So essentially I can just find the cosine and the sine of this now. So this is going to be -2. And cosine, oops, don't forget my negative on the 1 there. It's going to be -1/2. And then my sine here is going to end up being times square root of 3 over 2. So then my x, I'm just going to do the order pairs here, is going to be 1. And my y is actually going to be negative square root of 3. So that's my ordered pair in terms of x and y. So as you guys can see, for most of this class, we're going to need the idea of the unit circle here to kind of take us all the way through. Now if we were to graph these, let's just take a look at this really quick here. Now it's going to be a little more difficult because how do I graph negative square root of 3? We're just going to try, we know square root of 3 is between 1 and 2. So negative square root of 3 is between -1 and -2. Okay, so if I go over 1, which is here, this means I'm going to go down between 1 and 2. So there's 2 there. So it'll probably be about there. And that's a rectangular coordinate system. So now when I go back to the original, if I go 2 pi thirds, and I'm just going to do this in different colors so you can kind of see it. Okay, 2 pi thirds is going to be this way. Now think about it, I got to break this thing into 3 pieces. Okay, so it's going to be about there. So then when I pop it through to the other side because -2 means it doesn't go in this direction anymore. But the negative makes it go in that direction. So now it's going to come out this side, and then that's going to be -2. So -1, -2, so it's going to put me right there. Now again, if I had drew this exactly like I should have, then I would have seen that. That would have gave me the same point if I was very exact about it. So there's our answer, and I just kind of wanted to show you again how we graph each of these and again how they should complement each other and be in the exact same place.